Welcome to Still Plays Galaxy of Heroes. This is the talk video. Usually I make a rundown of the topics I want to cover. I didn't bother this time around because there's not that much to cover here. I just want to hit the login character, the calendar itself, talk about the Bad Batch trailer and what we can expect. And because this channel gives me a venue, I just want to rant about the Bad Batch a little bit, and then we'll wrap up as we usually do with the free-to-play gearing of my roster. And before we begin, just thank you everyone who watched the list video, and to those of you who are working on the Jedi Knight Luke event. I have a lowest viable teams video on that. I also have two event videos that the algorithm prefers, but I prefer that you watch the lowest viable team version of that video because I edited out all the extra nonsense from those longer videos, but the other videos have more views, so the algorithm is favoring it. First up, we have the login character of Rex. For the past several months, CG has been inconsistent with the login character meaning something. I think everyone feels safe in predicting that Rex is a sign that the Bad Batch is coming because that show is premiering on May the 4th. We've got a month to run up to that show coming out, and we can just trickle out each member of the Bad Batch as we go. Maybe we even get a new version of Echo. The other thing I want to talk about in the calendar is this portion in Galactic Challenges. Over the past 2 months, what we've seen in Galactic Challenges is it alternating between a random faction and Imperial Troopers or random faction and Mandalorians. We are not seeing that this week. I was almost expecting that we were going to see a random faction and clones. That's not the case. Maybe we'll see that in May, though, once we have those Bad Batch characters. Something to speculate on and look out for. Fairly meaningless, though, other than that. Before we move on to my rant, though, I do want to talk about, since we have 2 instances of Imperial Troopers on this calendar, and we just had Imperial Troopers and in Galactic Challenges. I saw it on Reddit, too late to help anyone, because I don't really go on the Reddit boards in the community, but yesterday I did, and I saw a very helpful post in regards to the Troopers, and I wanted to highlight it before we move on. So here is the video that was referenced from that Reddit post. I couldn't even find the Reddit post, but it's from this guy XKC Testing. And even though this is too late to help any of you guys, I bring it up because this month we have Imperial Troopers coming back twice. So he does it with these weak troopers who are 60k GP. They're not even starred up. So I recreated it with my troopers, and it works. And he claims it worked with anytime troopers were the team in the Galactic Challenge, and it's very impressive. So thanks to XKC Testing, he has a small little channel, but it had a great piece of information that I used to get that final crate, and hopefully when Troopers comes back at the end of the month or 2 times this next month, this still works. The whole idea is you take out the tank, and as soon as the tank is gone, you can deathmark the leader and you win it. And because of Demoralize and Piet stacking up the Emperor's Trap, you're able to get through them even though you have a weak team. But we're not going to play through the end. You get the idea. And before I begin my rant, I do want to say one thing about Conquest. I'm glad it's over. It's a fun game mode. I'm glad it's been added. I get bored with it by the end of the event. I did enjoy the hard mode. I was able to get the last crate in hard mode. Even though I don't have any Galactic Legends, JKL is my best team. I have 3 Relic 7s now. But with the right data discs, you can do it. We can explore that more in the future. What made it more fun this time around is I didn't do my refreshes. So by the end of the event, I was feeling the time crunch, whereas when I did normal mode, I was done with the event in like 3 days. I don't need... This isn't fundamentally different enough from Galactic Challenges or the other game modes where I need to be playing this every day. So I'm glad it's gone. I look forward to it coming back in 2 weeks and play it then. and I recommend trying not to do the refreshes, even though it's easy to get impatient in this game. And now for my rant about the Bad Batch. If you have not seen the Clone Wars yet, you owe it to yourself to watch that series. You don't need to watch everything. I'll even put on the Discord an abridged episode list that will allow you to speed through the show, watching only the episodes that will allow you to enjoy the final season in the maximal amount of ways, where it has where the characters and the arc that exists for those characters has a resonant emotional arc. What Filoni created in Ahsoka is the best character in Star Wars, and to be able to see and experience that, I think any Star Wars fan should. I didn't care about the Clone Wars growing up. I was too old for it. I started watching it because of this game, because of Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. I got interested. I finally watched it, and I loved it. Now, that final season, the Bad Batch arc, was actually my least favorite arc. I actually liked the Martez sister arc more than the Bad Batch, because the Bad Batch, they're basically just the tropiest trope characters who've ever troped. They're basically every 80s and 90s cartoon, like Saturday morning cartoon. Like, it's Ghostbusters, it's Ninja Turtles, it's G.I. Joe. It's all the same stuff, where you have your leader, your over-serious leader, you have your dumb brute, you have your comic relief guy, you have your nerd, you have your dangerous loner. Like, that's Michelangelo, Leonardo, Donatello, Raphael. Like, that's all that stuff. And I didn't feel like the use of those tropes were handled in such a way that made it interesting, where they were being used for any purpose other than to have them. Like, sure, like I trust Filoni at this point, so maybe it's just homage to those things, and there's a nostalgic element to those things that the Bad Batch allows him to put those in, but I'd want to see more from it. I thought the storyline, other than one or two things, I don't even want to allude to any spoilers or anything, but I didn't think anything interesting happened with it, and I saw why it was cut in the previous season, when it ended up not making that a bridge season. Now, the Martez sisters, plenty of wrong with that storyline, but I actually think it's pretty important to the arc of Clone Wars, and I understand why people hate it. There's a lot not to like, but I like seeing Coruscant. Like, I like seeing how actual people lived, and not just clones, Jedi, Sith, separatists. Like, seeing that other aspect is interesting. And one of my frustrations with the prequels was the way Lucas depicted the dark side of the Force. Like, my reaction to it was, so the dark side of the Force, like, what corrupts Anakin is purity? Like, that's the case he made to me. And I thought it was absurd. And I think what Clone Wars helps do is helps explain why Anakin fell to the dark side in an interesting way. And I think that Martez story arc alludes to it. It's not what the arc is about, and I think the arc would have been better if it would have gone away from that syndicate stuff and leaned more towards the problem with the Jedi. Because what you ultimately have is the Jedi, there's a conflict between the mythology of what the people believe and want the Jedi to be, and what the reality and actuality of that system is. And the clash of those is important, and the clash of those is an interesting way to explain why Anakin becomes disillusioned and becomes angry, to realize that the Jedi are just corrupt and have a ton of problems, and that these myths that he believes in, that Ahsoka believes in, are not real. That, to me, is a convincing reason to be corrupted by the dark side of the Force, to feel that rage and vengeance. And there's moments in scenes within that Martez arc which build on that and promote that. The problem is It's like the last scene of one of the last episodes or one of the later episodes of that story arc, where by that point you're already kind of out on the storyline. But for me, that's good grounding, because it's actually with the sequels, I like how the dark side of the Force was depicted with Kylo. Like, I think that is a more convincing form of the dark side than we saw in the prequels, where you see this petulant person, you see this person who's envious and greedy, who is insecure. Like, I can believe how that person is corruptible, feeling like that this power that the dark side is promising is going to fulfill the holes within his soul in some way. And that was believable for me, not what we saw in the prequels, in the Lucas prequels. Filoni, I'm very much looking forward to the show to see what happens with Order 66. I'm very much interested to see what Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes content can be extracted from the show. There looks to be plenty of things within the trailer. We see Fennec Shand. It's apparently Saw Gerrera is in there. I'd prefer Forrest Whitaker's Saw Gerrera, but maybe we can build up to that. And if we can see some Rex, I would love to see some Rex. And maybe we get some good ships. Maybe we finally get that Mace Windu rework if we're coming back to the Clone Wars era, or slightly post-Clone Wars era. And most of all, I want Robolegs Darth Maul. And if this gets us Robolegs Darth Maul, which people have been speculating about because the icon in the game has changed, it's going to be fantastic. I'm going to say this point one more time because there's possibly new viewers to this channel from the last list video and from the JKL event. The algorithm is probably going to promote this video a little bit more than some of the others. The Mace Windu rework, I have always been very doubtful about. It is more likely to be a touch-up on the Anakin, Ahsoka, clones level than it is to be any kind of rework that is going to satisfy people. And that is because after I started the new account, I realized how well crafted the beginning of the game is for CG, where it is very balanced. There aren't any characters that break the game. And if they do too much to Mace Windu and rework him in a way that will satisfy a lot of players, they will break the beginning of the game. And right now, it's very impressive which characters you can build up when, which abilities you can get built up when. You don't have any of those overpowered characters accessible at a point where it's just going to completely destroy Squad Arena. So that's why Mace, at best, you get a touch-up or a new version of Mace, not a full rework. And now we'll wrap up, as we always do, with the free-to-play gearing of my account. I did this just before the GAC sign-up, mostly working on Jedi Master Luke, and hopefully we can time out Jedi Master Luke between the Grand Arenas. Not sure how much time I need to farm the tokens or whatever. So it's time to gear up my roster before the next Grand Arena sign up. We have two big goals that I'm looking at right now is more Jedi Master Luke preparation, and I want to do some Bo-Katan and Mando testing. So those are the characters I'm looking to beef up a few levels. With Jedi Master Luke, let me show you the current status of those farms. These are the characters remaining to be brought up to gear 13. I don't have the gear I need to bring everybody up right now, but I think I might bring up like Chupio and Mon Mothma and then wait until next week to bring up the rest of these guys. Old Ben, I think I don't have enough of the Fusion Furnace. So we're going to start here with Chupio. He's just so good that he isn't going to hurt me by being up to relics. What's holding me back right now is I've been slow farming these pieces because it's just a better use of crystals, but I've held on to my squad arena slot for as long as I'm going to be able to. I don't think I'm going to be able to hold on another week. So I'm going to shift to buying these with crystals instead of buying refreshes with crystals. But we are going to begin with this piece. So we can just hit upgrade. I'll mess with relic levels later, but I will bring him up. A couple spots and then I'll deal with this later. Because I'm not sure who needs to go to what relic level right now. And I don't want to look at it for these purposes. Now Mon Mothma, she needs a bunch of those fusion furnaces too. And I have been using her in 3v3 on defense just because of the number of teams you need. So that means here I'm going to use up 100 of these guys. Oh, I don't even have enough gear. I don't have the upgrade button. So we are not bringing up Mon Mothma because I don't have what I need to bring her up right now. And it doesn't really matter to beef her up on health since you can't target her. So we're not even going to worry about putting any of those on right now. We will worry about Gar Saxon instead. He's a fairly easy gear. I broke down everything I need to put on him that's left. It's one stun gun, so this is the only stun gun I'm going to need put on him. Then there's another carb after that and 2 stun cuffs. Yeah, so there's the carb, and this should be the stun cuff, or one of the stun cuffs, yeah. That comlink always has a stun cuff. We got an eyeball here, or not even. Alright, so we're bringing him up to 10. And the rest of these are fine. Yeah, that's not a Mark III Carbonti. Alright, he's up at 11. And I'll look at those pieces later. I'll probably throw most of those on, whatever's cheap. Gar Saxon, well, I'll take him off the list later. Now, Bo-Katan, I don't want to give her the Chirotechs right now. I need them for all these Jedi Master Luke requirements, because we are also short on these prods right here. But I'm getting close. I need 400. We're at 330. I'll give 50. I'll bring up Bo-Katan a level. With the shared stats, hopefully we can get enough tankiness to survive a little bit. Because the next level, she needs another Chirotech, and the level after that, she needs another Chirotech. Yeah, so here's the other Chiro. So we're not going to bring her to 11 this week. That's going to have to wait until after Jedi Master Luke. Other thing I was considering was beefing up my finalizer with the First Order TIE Pilot. And then after the TIE Pilot, I can transition to the Stormtrooper and then be done with all the First Order pilots. It's really going to come down to how many carbs I still have. Oh, I got a lot of carbs still. Well, that makes us done for the First Order TIE Pilot for now. Once after I'm done with Jedi Master Luke, I think I'm done with the gearing. We're not going to throw any Zetas on this week. But what I will show is the rest of these Galactic Legend requirements. So we're a little bit closer with Luke, but with the Sith Eternal Emperor. We have most of these characters at 11 or 12, except for Krennic and Guard. The Royal Guard is a bad gear, so that one's waiting. But Krennic, I can shift to at any point. We're basically done with a lot of these Rey ones, except for Vet Chewie. We can bring Holdo up anytime. She just needs an eyeball and a stun gun, and I don't want to do it yet, because we're not going to work on these Gear 12 and relics anytime soon. I don't know which direction I'm going to go after this, but you can see I can go any direction. I'm in a good position to go after any of the remaining Galactic Legends, but I think what I'm going to do, like with SLKR, we're looking at the Stormtrooper and Vet Han. So basically, in regards to all these Galactic Legends, we're at the same spot. So I think we will shift to restoring my gear stores, see if anything changes within the game, and either go for a second Galactic Legend or shift to whatever is the new thing in the game. As always, thank you for watching, and thank you to all the new subscribers and everyone else who supports this channel. It helps keep me motivated to make those types of videos that I know you guys respond to. And now that I've transitioned out of this work crunch period from the end of last year and the beginning of this year, I have a little bit more time to work towards putting out more videos like that, because I know those are the kinds of takes that you guys are interested in seeing from me. So as always, be safe out there and be excellent to each other.